Hi, my name is Keith and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to talk to you about energy vampirism and what is energy vampirism. So basically I made a YouTube video talking about how you guys can kill off energy vampires by using black tourmaline, making them not want to come around, and people don't even know what an energy vampire is. I am sorry that I have just assumed that everyone knows what an energy vampire is, but it's a very real thing that energy vampires, may it be an active or a passive energy vampire, don't want people knowing anything about. So basically, what is an energy vampire? There's two main different kinds of energy vampires. One, active. People who actively suck energy out of people because it's fun, because that's their main source of energy, or because that's all they can do. That's all that person does. And that's actually, there's not too many of those out there. In the spiritual community, there are definitely people who will actively energy vampirize people. And then there's the passive energy vampires, which is actually the most common. So basically, people, you can think of like, what, I don't even know what the show's called, Colin, whatever. An energy vampire is someone who can basically suck your energy just by talking to you, or they'll talk to you for 5 minutes and you don't know where the conversation's going. You don't you're trying to hold your focus. As they talk, as the conversation carries on, you're noticing that your energy's, well, most people don't notice it. Your energy's waning and like you can't really focus. And then by the time you're done talking to the person, you're completely drained, you're tired. It doesn't matter if you slept 8 hours. You could have slept 9 hours. You could have had coffee and you're still drained and you don't even know why. Well, that's called an energy vampire. So let's talk about the passive energy vampires. I'll talk about the active energy vampires after. So basically, energy vampirism in a passive form is essentially, if you've ever seen in folk tales and movies, basically where does a vampire originate, right? So basically you have a master vampire. I like to say this is the dark entity. So basically the dark entity on this plane of existence, in this physical dimension, entities operate on energy, lower entities. So if that entity is basically out of energy, it's going to look for someone to steal energy from. That's why it attaches themselves onto certain people. When they fight, when they argue, when certain things happen, that person will put off a lot of energy. That entity, may it be a lower level entity or a demon, will just harvest the energy. It's like, oh God, it's like watching Jersey Shore. Yeah, and they'll collect the energy. Now that person that they just collected the energy from has no energy left. Now that person is not doing that much for that dark entity. That person is now low on energy, and that dark entity is now back to stage one. They're like, oh no, I don't have energy. I don't have any energy now. This person doesn't have any energy. Now what are we both gonna do? The person doesn't even know I'm sucking energy from them, and that person's completely void of energy. Let's say that person has a group of friends. That person's now completely spiritually, energetically drained, and they go out to their group of friends and they sit down and talk to them. Oh, I've had a long day. My relationship is like this, and yeah, today was an okay day, but, and they will sap the life force out of their friend group, all the energy will leave their friends and go to their friends just by default. If you know anything about in actual biology and actual chemistry, energy will go from higher to lower. So basically, if it's like this, it's going to equal out. Same thing with atoms and just the way energy transfers. Energy vampirism is a very chemical and scientific thing. So that friend group, they'll feel completely drained afterwards, or if it's a bigger friend group, everyone is going to feel kind of zapped and be like, what was that? Maybe there'll be people who are empaths, which I'll make another video about what empaths really are. But people who are empaths will be completely drained just because of that person, because they feel that person's, oh, what do you mean? I'm sorry you had a bad day. Oh, tell me more. Are you okay? And then boom, that energy goes straight to them. So basically, it's kind of like a tug and pull. I have to make more videos on energy vampirism because there's whole dynamics that can be calculated scientifically out, but energy vampires are a very real thing. That's the passive energy vampire. So basically the dark entity on the person will feed off a person. That person is now bit, so now they become a vampire. They go to their friend group. If they suck enough energy from their friend group, now their friend group doesn't have any energy. Now they turn into energy vampires. They go out, they go back to their families. They're complete energy vampires to their families. It depends on how bad they get their energy sucked. But it's a continuous effect. It's a domino effect. There's a whole science to it. This is exciting because people don't even know this exists. And when you reveal it, people who are sucking energy, either when they're passively doing it, they learn to stop, or they'll keep doing it not really caring because they don't want to change their life's choices. I told one of my friends back then that she was being a complete flat out energy vampire and she needed to stop, and she did, and now she's a better person. Now her whole life is going better because someone was honest with her. But now you have the active energy vampires. What's an active energy vampire? So basically this occurs in the spiritual community very often. So active energy vampires will seek energy from other people, specifically spiritually people, because spiritually people are charged. They have their chakras active and more. They know how to energize their gifts. They know how to energize just different things. They have different abilities. So active energy vampires will actively try to steal energy. And these people don't like when people talk about energy vampirism at all. These people will never admit that they're energy vampires. A lot of times it's in spiritual groups. It happens in spiritual groups very often. There are passive ones and there's active ones. The active ones don't like it when people talk. They want people to shut up. They think basically that they can get away with it without people really knowing it. Okay, they will always get caught. People will always come around and find out. That's that. How do you kill an energy vampire? Black tourmaline. But how does black tourmaline kill an energy vampire? It stops the energy from getting cut off. So basically, I have black tourmaline everywhere. I'm going to show you my main piece. Well, this is not a main piece. This is just a piece I have in front of me. Black tourmaline is strong enough to cut off EMF. What's EMF? So basically, EMF is radiation coming from your computer, coming from your technology. It cuts that in half. If it's strong enough to do that to EMF, it's strong enough to cut off someone's energy prongs and energy attachments to you. As long as you keep the black tourmaline cleansed and charged, this is your best friend. It loves sunlight. It soaks the sun. It has to be charged. You can't just cleanse it. When you just cleanse it, it's not doing its job. When you charge it, it acts like a barrier and is very, very active when it gets the energy of the sun. It's offensive to dark energy. It actually kind of energetically slaps energy vampires in the face. It's not very friendly. They can't really do much and it makes them upset. So, maybe an active vampire? A passive vampire, but the thing is, black tourmaline's your best friend. No one's getting through black tourmaline unless it cracks and breaks, which it does very often to people who don't cleanse and charge it because it gets overwhelmed and it's just doing its job. It blocks off curses, black magic, it blocks off EMF and any kind of toxic 5G. Anything that's toxic, it's gonna block off. You can put it in all your windows, every corner of your house. If you stick it next to selenite, it's automatically cleansing and charging. It's always going to be cleansed and charged next to selenite. You can put it everywhere. It's the best thing to have around. You put it by your front door, put it everywhere. Throw it in your yard. You can have different posts of it in your yard. It's your best friend, and it's not that expensive either. Black tourmaline's easy to get your hands on. It's amazing. I wouldn't go out getting black onyx because if you're having a bad time and you get black onyx, it's going to save the energy of you having a bad time, and you're just going to keep having a bad time, and you don't know why you're having a bad time. It's basically a very clear tangent stone. It holds energy. It's like a computer data chip. If you know what the actual meaning of onyx is, onyx means nail. Onyx translates to onyx, which basically means nail. The story behind it is the fingernails of Venus. But basically it holds residue. It just remembers things. If you get it and you're having a bad time, it's going to keep reminding you of the bad time and you're not going to know why. That's why you don't get onyx from thrift stores. I'm going a little bit off topic, but back to energy vampires. Another thing too, in public, with passive energy vampires or even active energy vampires, don't let people touch you, especially your head. Don't let anyone get near your head. People can permanently mess you up just by touching your head if you let them. There's a few different kinds of energies. Basically the energy of letting someone take your energy, the energy of not knowing your energy is being taken, and the energy of refusal, where you just completely block that person off. At that point, you kill them. They're dead. That person is now taking energy because you refuse to even acknowledge their existence. That's the best thing you can do. That's what black tourmaline's here for, to help kill them off, to help basically act like they don't exist. Put up your shields, put up your guards. That person they don't exist anymore. That if someone's trying to suck your energy, maybe in a passive or an active, like even with passive energy vampires, one thing you can do is you can cross your arms, you can turn your side to them, you don't make eye contact with them. You can hold your breath with energy vampires too. When you hold your breath, and there's an exercise in Kundalini Yoga where you shut off your senses, energy will not leave. That's one thing you can do around energy vampires as well. You can, like, even if you, one way you can sense if someone's sucking your energy, this is a major one, is when you see the person, ask yourself if you feel like yawning. I mean, people yawn just because they say, basically yawning is very contagious, but if you look at that person and a second into looking at them, you feel like you want to yawn and you know you're not tired, that person's sucking your energy just because they're at a default, they're at a deficit. Now, I've talked about almost everything I can talk about in this video. Another thing is, like I said, don't let people touch you. People don't know like this exists, especially in workplaces where you have a boss pat you on the back, pat you on the neck. Hand chakras, they are major things. If you even look at ancient Egypt, and same thing with pharaoh cylinders and how pharaohs used to sit and how the spiritual leaders in Egypt used to sit, the hands are the biggest thing. If you see them doing anything with their hands, that's one of the biggest things. So a general handshake is okay. When it comes to, like, if you ever notice when people, especially at bars, at clubs, they always want to touch you, they want to put their hands on you, you don't even know them that well, and they want to put all their hands all over you, just keep in mind like this, if they're at a deficit, remember the energy at a higher gradient going to an energy at a lower gradient. If their hands are negatives and your shoulders are positive, because we have so many different chakras in our bodies, we have more than 7. So if they're tapping your shoulder chakra, if they're tapping the back of your neck, which is a very big one, just your chest, like, oh, hey buddy, how you doing? Tapping your stomach, your solar plexus chakra, your center for manifestation. They're sapping your energy. You don't even know it. This happens all the time. I remember, like, I'll ask someone, like, oh, how'd your day go? And they're like, I don't know, I'm drained. I'm like, well, who are you talking to? Like, oh, my boss. I'm like, he was patting me on the back. I'm like, there you go. So basically, I taught you. I'm going to teach much more about this in the future. My angels keep urging me to teach about this. So basically, just keep in mind about energy vampirism. It's very real. It's very easy to cut off. Block the person off. Whoever the energy vampire is, if you want your energy, oh, this is perfect because I just remembered how to do it. So when you get your energy stolen from you, you call it back. There's a law in the universe that states that your energy is yours. You can say, you have to uncross your legs and open your arms and just say, I call my energy back to me because it's mine and it has to return. Your hands will vibrate, they'll tingle, you'll feel a warmth, you'll feel some kind of coolness. It's because your angels and your guardians and your guides are helping to return your energy to you, and your energy atomically is yours. An atom it's influenced just by you looking at it. So this is something that you can do. I'm very happy to teach this video. This is because no one even knows what an energy vampire is, and once you're aware of it, you make some serious life changes, and you can get basically energized. You get your energy back. I'll talk about what kind of energies there are out there. I'm going to make more videos in the future. There's different kind of energies. There's subsections of energies. There's opportunity energy, love energy, just energy originating from each chakra. So some people might have that on the skin of their aura. That's why you do protections, to protect that so people don't scrape it off. There's so many dynamics to it. I've studied this down to a T. You can see this in every single, even like in Tibetan cultures. It's just different in ancient Egypt. This is a knowledge that has been around that people don't really tap into. I'm going to make more videos about this because this is an exciting topic. And once you guys identify energy vampires, it gets scary to see how many of them around, especially the active energy vampires. So, the thing is, if someone who claims they're an energy vampire, who's an active energy vampire, because even on TikTok, people are like, I'm an energy vampire. Meow. Like, they think they're on an episode of, like, whatever. What we do in the shadows. So basically, that's not cute. You don't go up in life by sucking energy. You only waste your own energy centers, and you make yourself reliant on being a parasite. So that's pretty much that's it. Parasites are very easily killed off. I'll introduce more crystals eventually because there's some super rare crystals and some freakishly powerful crystals out there that people don't know exist that I have gotten my hands on, and I have found out a few tricks to do with crystals. They don't just sit there, they do things too. There's a few ways you can get them to pop. So I will teach that later on. This is the longest video I've done on my YouTube, and I will talk to you guys later. Ciao!